you're live. We'll just wait a couple minutes for people to get in here and see who's going to join us this morning. I realize I'm about 30 seconds too early, so. Okay. So here we are. I'll just kind of sit here and wait. I can go out just a little bit. Let's see. Hey, Alex. You are first in here, Alex. So now there's two of us. Do you get a prize? Well, maybe we can work out something. Maybe I can help you cut up some of your wood that you've been working on. Have you got it cut up yet? Oh, did you ever get the walnut? Another question for you. Now we're starting to get some people in here. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you were at. Spread this out just a little bit further. Okay. So we can see each other just a little bit. Hopefully I'm not all the way out of the picture. There we go. All right, so no end, no walnut. Yeah, you need to get that walnut. Okay, guys. Well, what we got today is we've got this nice piece of cypress that we are going to be turning, and then later on we will be turning a piece of oak burl. But I wanted to show you this first. This is the oak burl that we turned the other day on the live we did for members, and it's a beautiful piece of wood. Lots of really deep cracks in it, or holes in it, I should say. And you don't know where the holes go because I poured tung oil into this 2 or 3 times yesterday, and it never dripped out the other side. So I don't know where it all went, but I'm letting it kind of cure for 48 hours, and we'll be turning this on the inside this weekend. I'm not sure the time or date yet, but if you keep an eye out, or if you're a subscriber, you'll find out. I'll let everybody know, and we can. When we meet up, and you can see me turn this piece. But it's a very interesting piece, a very pretty piece of wood, and hopefully the piece that we're going to turn later on today will look similar to this, and we'll be able to turn it as well. It's always touchy when you're turning burls of oak or burls of any kind of wood, because the burls tend to have a lot of holes and cracks in them that you don't know what's going on until you actually get into it. So, but for all you guys that are here, thank you for coming in. We're going to get started on this. Please hit the like button, or double tap your screen. And if you're not a subscriber, you should be. And Hopefully you'll subscribe and become a regular subscriber to our regular viewer to our show if you haven't been already. We are now starting our second year on the channel. Hey, Martin, how you doing? Okay, let's test this first. Okay, we got to start right about here, I think. Looks like a lot of stuff flying off at first. The idea there is just to get any little hide parts off, so then we can get in there and start undercutting this a little bit. We are going to lose most of this bark. I don't think we're going to be able to save this and make this a live edge bowl. It's possible, but not likely. Okay. Well, in fact, no, I'm sorry, this won't, because we're going to be using this as a cannon. That's what it's called. There we go. Okay, so now we've established ourselves a little bit. Now we can make some real cuts. Okay, so maybe we can speed up this a little bit more. There we go. I'm gonna. There we go. I'm going just a little bit too deep in there. We're almost round. We've got a little flat spot on each side. We'll be able to do that real quick. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you can. That'd be great. There we go. And I think, except for that tiny little bit of flat spot right there, I think they're pretty much got it. Great. I'm going to trim a little bit on the top here. Do a little scraping cut. I like that. See, it those nice shades of you do that. We're not taking anything off really. We're just trying to smooth everything out a little bit until we get into that bark. Okay, that's already smooth to about, say, a 120 grit sandpaper right just doing that. Okay. If you got any comments or questions, please write them in the comment section. I'd love to talk to you guys while we're doing this. I don't like to just be turning by myself. Since I can't have music on while I'm doing this, I need to have someone to talk to. So please feel free to chime in and ask questions, whatever you want to do. Okay. Sometimes we have conversations and we're going to have nothing to do with wood turning while we're turning. Well, here's a piece. to get inside. I think this is going to be a real pretty piece. We're getting there. I'm going to have to take a little bit more of this off because that's not enough for a tenon. So I have to take a little bit more off, but at least we're getting there. Speed up just a little bit more. Okay, we're trying to get enough surface here now, I think, to get what we need. I know I've mentioned this to a lot of you before, but those of you that are new to the channel, I use an asymmetrical grind. One side is slightly higher than the other. I don't know if you can see it here. Maybe that's the best view. You see this one's a little bit lower on this side, so that when I draw it along here, I'm using this higher side to help work almost like a scraper or skew, and that just gives me a little bit extra things that I can do with this gouge. So again, what do we got in here? We got hey Caesar, good to see you. Hey Lawrence, and let's see that last one there. Is that Oliver? I'm going to say it's Oliver. I can't quite see from here, but anyway. 587 people. Please be hitting the like button, or please consider subscribing. You know, we're so close to getting to our 5,000 subscribers, and we only need to have one or two really good days like this to get up there. All I need you to do is for some of you that aren't subscribers to hit that button. There we go. Okay, so I think I can start shaping up my tenon here a little bit now. Get that off first. Okay. I think I want to set it right about here. The nub just doesn't want to come off. There we go. Okay, that's the start of it. Get in here with the light on here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna adjust this down just a little bit. There we go. There, now I'm more on an even keel. There we go. All right. That's nice and smooth. It's looking really pretty. You can see the lines in the wood. It's really pretty wood. So as I'm turning this, you'll get to see some of that in action. But okay, and let's see who else. Wow, 600 people in here. Please hit the like button or double tap your screen. I'd really appreciate that a lot. It really helps the channel out. Okay, I'm gonna get my chuck here just to see. Get in there. Boy, it's just that just needs to be a hair bigger. So we'll just make that a hair bigger. I'm usually pretty good at guessing it, but sometimes you just need a little bit more. A little bit more. I'll clean this up here a little bit. Okay. Now let's see what we got. If it's fitting in there, I think. I think we're good. Maybe need to recess that just a bit deeper. This is the safe side. You don't want to be too much. You want to have a little bit of extra grip in there for that. Okay. So we've got that. Now I just want to work on the sides a little bit. Then we can sand it and turn it around. We'll get this going pretty quickly. Let's see if there's any thing we need to worry about. Okay. So let me get this scraper here. This is a bullnose scraper. And everybody wants to know I'm running at about 900 RPM right now. Right about 900 or so. And we're just barely touching the wood. And what I'm looking at is I'm looking at this profile up here as I'm going here to make sure that it's nice and even. I see just a little bit of a hump right there. So let's slow down, take a little of that hump out. Okay. Okay. I think I've got that down. Ooh, nice and smooth. We have a lot of end grain issues I got to deal with. And the only way to deal with those is to sand them out. There's no other way around it. I just can't get around that. So you're gonna have to bear with me a little bit while I do some sanding on this. But you're gonna like the finish you see in a minute too. So give me just a couple minutes to see. Bottom sand in. This I'm not gonna too big of a grit to do that. So I'm just gonna sand a little bit. That membrane is just very porous and creates a lot of holes. You want to make sure that you get that sanded down as best you can. That's a little bit. That's a little bit. I'm going to do on that one because that's like 80 grit. So that's just to take off a little bit of hard stuff. Hi, Larry and Ray and Masuk and Paul, Eric again, and Patrick. Wow, lots of people in here today. I'd really like everyone to kind of type in where are you from? Where are you watching from? I'd really like to know. Just let everybody know. I'm going to put this in reverse. So it's spinning backwards now. The wood is actually shining already. It's already getting a shine on it. Very, very tight bound wood. I see Dallas and Wales. Yeah, Paul, I know you're from Wales. Paul and I have been having a conversation back and forth. So I got to ask, Missouri. All right. I got to ask, Paul. Does it ever get warm in Wales? I know it's sort of like asking a Scotsman if he has a T-shirt, right? But does it ever actually get really warm? No. Okay. Yeah, I know it can be a pretty challenging climate there, I'm sure. I've lived in some pretty cold places. I've lived in some pretty hot places. I'm going to put a little of this Howard's Feed and Wax on here, and just to kind of see if there's anything I'm missing, because this will help me see any little imperfections I'm missing or something like that as I go along. Plus, it gives you an idea of what this is going to look like. What do you think of this color that's coming out now? And this is just beeswax and orange oil. That's all it is. It's a food safe finish. The wood absorbs it really well. It likes beeswax. I'm sure you guys all know, or most of you know. Okay, get in here. And now you'll be able to see some of those veins that I was talking about earlier in here. See that? Some beautiful veins in the wood. And it's sucking this up pretty quickly. It's a pretty dry piece of wood. I didn't take the exact measurements on it, but it is a pretty dry piece of wood, I know that. I'll let this kind of soak in for just a minute. So, rain today, huh? Well, that's kind of par for the course. It's sort of like living in Seattle, isn't it? If it's not raining, people think that they need to make a sacrifice to the gods because there's something going wrong. So, yeah, I mean, rain is kind of a little bit of a part of life in some places of the world. In other places of the world, you never get rain at all. Thanks, Roy. Hey, if you guys haven't checked out Roy's timber arts, he does some great work in there, and you should check out his channel. He really does some really nice stuff. Check it out anytime you get a chance. In fact, you just didn't you just do a live the other day, if I remember right? I'm trying to remember now. I see so many different lives all the time going on. Yeah, I'm gonna just kind of. This is my oil-soaked rag that I use for kind of rubbing this finish in a little bit. Just want to kind of get it. It is a nice burnished kind of look to it. Very pretty, and it's rustic, so I don't need it to be a perfect. I don't need this to be perfect on the outside because it's a rough piece of wood. Same with the one we're going to turn later, the oak burl. Sometimes you don't have to try and make everything look perfect. You just want it to let the wood kind of do the work for you. And that's what we're doing here. We're letting the wood do the work for us. And I'm not too sad with this. I think this looks pretty good. I think I might. I got a little trimming issue right here. I'm not sure. Maybe I may fix that before we go on. Just because I'm not trying for perfection, but I don't like to see a ring where I didn't put it on purpose. I'm going to fix that before we turn it around. Okay. I'll just use a skew. We'll just give it a very light. If that's going to stay like that, what I'll do is I'll just give it a little decorative quality to it. I'll just get the right tool out. There we go. Let's do this. See what that looks like. That's not great. There, now at least looks like it belongs there. And that's what I was going for. A little bit. There we go. That's all we needed to do, just to kind of give it a little something decorative. Not look like it was a tool mark or something. There we go. Okay, so now the fun part. Now we get to take it off, turn it around. Okay, so come, take the screws out. Please do continue to hit that like button or double tap your screen. I appreciate that. I'd like to get to 100 likes today if we can, at least. Then maybe get some more subscribers. We are really getting close to our 5,000 goal, and really would like to get. And it doesn't cost you a thing, but it'd really be nice for us if you would subscribe. It does when we're doing our lives, which we do live Friday. Used to do them on Thursdays. We moved to Fridays. It seems to be better, work out better for people. Okay, I'm going to turn this on low speed. See how we are. We're pretty good. Put this on here. Very little chatter. Rolling pretty good. So, okay, I can tighten this down, and we should be in good shape to do the inside of this. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. It's a very hard wood. So as we turn the inside of this, things can get a little dicey. We'll try our best not to screw it up. Okay. Boy, it's really banging. Something's banging there. I'm not sure what it is. There's a little chip missing there. A little chip came off just the first time it went that pin in there, so you lost a little chip of wood. So that's what I'm hitting as it comes around. Keep wanting to throw me back out. gonna have to do is lower this tool rest just a little bit. I'll get a better angle on things. And well, I'm gonna have to resharpen my tool. Yeah, I'm gonna sharpen this real quick. Doesn't take much. Doesn't take much to sharpen. Doesn't take much to gold either. Actually. This is an M2 carbon steel too. This is very hard steel. It holds a sharp edge for quite a while. So if we're using a taper gouge, imagine how many times you'd have to sharpen it to go through this wood. This particular wood is very tight. I'm sorry, sharp edge. So let's see what we got here. Okay. So it is just really shattering as it goes. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to a different gouge. So it has really fine-haired shavings. Really fine-haired. I think we're going to switch to a different angle gouge here. See if this makes a difference. Okay, so that works a little bit better, I think. I think I'll stick with this one. What do you got there? It says, this Cypress is a little bit hard to turn. Yes, Paul. It's yeah. You want to be. I want to be sure, especially when I'm doing my first entry cuts, because that's where I got that little chip out of this type piece right here. So you got to be really careful. Right now, this is slick and hard. I mean, that feels almost like you got like a hammer handle right now. It is really really hard wood and very slick. So yeah, as you're turning this, it's going to take a little bit of time to get everything out of there, but we will do it. It's just going to take a little bit of time. Okay. So hey, I have to keep this edge going here, or it's going to get too thick. So I have to make sure that I keep that on fire. Okay. And then come down like this. Slowly keeping the heel of the gouge against the back end. So what I did is I made sure that this heel stayed right with the edge of that, and as I came around, that heel just was the guiding piece for me to get in there. You have to kind of keep going back and forth like this. Slowly start making my way in. Now, I want to stop every once in a while, check, make sure that my hold is good on the back, and make sure that I'm not getting anything in here like branches or anything like that. Fortunately, I think this is a pretty clean piece of wood. There, we'll get a little clean out of here. Get quite a bit of buildup. Yeah. It's amazing how a small bowl can make that much mess, as you're going along. Boring is, yeah, well, maybe it is boring to you, David, but to me, it's making a piece of art. So I appreciate it if you're not being entertained, and that's and you can go on to something else. Um, I have used carbide chisels. In fact, I can use them, Paul. Um, Let's see if we can get to 100 likes here at least, okay, guys? With all the people that are in here, I'd really appreciate that. And again, you know, sorry, David, if it's boring for you, but I think others are enjoying it. They want to see how to do something like this, you know. Now, I'm not sure if this has a sharp edge or not. Let's see. It's a carbide edge, and it might be a little dull. Yeah, all I'm getting is dust there, so let me see if I can clean that out and move it to a sharper part of the edge here. So there you go. So you can use it. You can use a gouge to do it. I tend to use this kind of gouge more towards the bottom. It is very hard. It is a very hard wood. Yes, it is. What you want to know? What kind of wood? This is cypress. This is cypress. Okay. So we're going to go back to using this for now, but I think I will go back to carbide later. Because I think we can be slightly more aggressive with this tool, with this gouge. Okay, than we can be with the other things. I think it's, you know, we've never actually cleaned off this edge, so I'm going to try and do that too. And one trick I always do is I slope the top in. That actually makes this look thinner. Okay. Boy, that is one long name. Cusimendo, I can't even begin to pronounce that, to be honest with you. I'm sorry. I didn't know where to start on that. But welcome in and thank you for commenting and let us know where you're from. You know, what country or what area of the country or whatever are you watching from? What part of the world? I mean, I realize over in Wales, I'm kind of the evening entertainment. You know, on the East Coast right now, people are just getting off of work. For people in Dallas, they're just waiting, watching outside to see what's the next thing that's going to happen with the weather because it changes constantly. Probably Missouri right now too. I know. You notice you always keep your hand behind the tool rest. And mostly what I'm doing is I'm pushing down. And I'm guiding it a little bit, but I'm mostly pushing down to keep it from shattering. But you're not putting a lot of pressure on it, otherwise your hand will get cramped and tired. You just want to hold it gently down as you go through your turn. And all I'm doing through that whole thing is I'm just using this as a pivot. We're starting to get some movement here. We're starting to get about a little past halfway down the bowl now. So 1 hour, not even an hour in, we got 2/3 of the day done. I want to kind of see where we're at here. Yeah, I'm right about there. Got about another 3/4 of an inch or so to go down. And I think we're going to have to take a little bit more out of the side here. It's getting a little too thick. So we're going to have to work on that. And that's always kind of risky, because this is where you can have you can accidentally catch something and blow it out. And I do need to watch the cracks, because there are some cracks on the outside here, right here. I want to make sure those cracks here, there's a little bit of that crack showing here, so I don't want to go too thin, because that crack could just, I could just move the whole side of the bowl. So let me kind of use this scraper. love using this this scraper. It really hones down the sides. And I got it elongated all the way out to here. I have another one that does it even longer, but that helps me get that cleaned out a little bit. Get that speed up a little bit more. If any of you were here last week, you saw that big bull that we turned last week. That one, I've gotten a lot of comments on. Many people that wanted to buy it, and just so you know, everything is available. You just have to contact me. You can contact me through the channel here. If you go to the channel, the channel top part, you know, where it says 2-minute tips, it tells you all about the channel. There will be there's a thing that says an email address, and you can use that email address to get in contact with me if you are truly interested in purchasing something or have a question or want to maybe collaborate or something. And I'm always willing to bring somebody else on and do a collaboration. Well, this one's cutting better than this one. They're different gouge, different angle, a little bit. It's got the same cutting angle, but this one is more of a blunt edge. The other one is more of a winged cut. This is a little bit better on the inside of the bowl. The other one's a little bit better on the outside of the bowl for me, personally. Patrick, if you'll forgive me, this is more of what they call an Irish, uh, guess what do they call it? An Irish grind, yes. Not really a 40-40 grind, but it's similar in design. And everybody's got the grind that they like. That's the thing. It's what you get used to using on your tools is perfectly fine. There is no 40-40 grind or 55-degree grind or whatever. I actually learned a lot of my turning on a 55-degree grind, but found that I was much happier with more like about a 48 to 50 degree grind. That seemed to suit my purposes the best. Okay, we are down to here. We need to get down to here. So we need about this much more out of there. And I got to make sure I'm watching my angles. And I will explain here when we get to the end why I use the mitered tenon instead of a open tenon, and a couple of the reasons why I do some of the things I do. It may not work for you, but it works for me. So I just try to explain that to everybody. Okay, I think I've done everything I could with that tool. I think I'm going to go back to this right here for a minute. See if we can get any damage going there. Yeah. I'll check myself. I still got a little bit of room to grow there. So yeah, I might try this. I don't know if this will work or not. See how that feels. I can go a little deeper. I don't like to leave it too heavy on the bottom. Yes, this S Taurus is really helpful, right? Yeah, you need to make sure the profile stays really nice and true throughout. So at the top, so this is too much wider here. It's a little bit wide. I can feel it. Your hands are your best gauge. In your hand, I can feel it's thinner here than it is right here. So I'm trying to kind of get that wall out just a little bit. That's getting a little bit closer. And it kind of dumps in here. So using the right tool makes turning just a little bit more fun, you know. But you don't have to go crazy. This set of these two right here, these two scrapers, were $40 on Amazon. They're called Benjamin's Best, and they are terrific. I happen to have this Lucas one that I really. I'm sorry, what's that going to say? I'm sorry. Well, yeah, it's a crown. Is what it is. It's a crown. Uh, so I mean, crown tools are great. If you can find one at an estate sale or a yard sale or something, grab them. And it just pays off, you know. Having a good. This one actually came from DM Wood Terrain, and this was actually they actually gave this to me. I'll be honest. They gave me this M2 Cryo to try out, and I did a demonstration with it. And I really do like it. It's one of my favorite gouges now. Not because it was free, but because it actually worked. So, you know, sometimes that's a nice part too. Okay, so please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't, or double tap the screen. You know, we'd like to get to, well, we got 100, so that's good, I think. So we'd like to get as many likes as we can, and actually need to add some subscribers to our list. So please, please do that. Okay. Tell you what, it's not fun getting old. Bending over to pick up things, it gets a lot harder as you get older. Okay. Try this. I'm gonna have to turn this off. So bear with me for the sound for just a minute. I apologize, but I like to have the dust collector on when I'm doing this work. And then I'm gonna put it in reverse. One of my three tips is full sweeps, because if you go back and forth and don't go all the way out, you're going to end up with little grooves. You want to make sure you start one end, go all the way to the middle, past the middle, and go all the way back out again. So you're really sanding smooth. Okay? One more grit, real quickly, and we will be done with this bowl in just over an hour. Well, an hour and 10 minutes, I guess. Okay. I think we got that nice and sanded out now. Okay. helmet off for a minute. Talk to you a little better. Okay, so we're going to finish this bowl off, and then we'll be able to move on to the next one. So here's using some more of that Howard's Feet and Wax. And get that in there. And I think you get to see how this bowl starts to come together. So you'll be a little bit surprised. Go back on the outside again, give it a second coat here now. Because it usually takes 2 or 3 coats to really finish the bowl off, and then you want to buff it out after it's dried there too. We'll take it and we'll put on the buffer, and we'll buff it out a little bit. That'll make it. But the general idea here today, what the bowl looks like. Look at that, it's already dry on the inside. Just put that in there and it's already dried out. Sucked it all in. This beeswax and orange. Food safe, so you don't have to worry about that. Nothing in here that's going to hurt anybody. People, I said, if you're worried about food safe, first of all, put there a little wax paper, and put your food in on just in case. But for most things, especially things that don't leak out, you don't want to have things that are leaky or wet, of course. But in most cases, you're going to be just fine, especially with a general wax finish like this. Okay, so I'm going to let that set for just a moment. See if we have to catch up with anyone here. Well, thanks, Harry. I appreciate it. Buy some of your chisels from Fine Buy Tools. That's always a good one. Yeah, M42, good tools. Yes, that's M42 is the best. Carter and Sons is another good mate. Any Crown tools, pretty much. And Crown makes tools for a lot of different companies. But out of Sheffield, England, they have really good steel. And I think that works really good too. Hi, Segundo. I'm going to say it says Chungchungopal. Chungchungopal. Okay, well, hi. I'll give my best shot on that. Again, where are some of you guys watching from? I'd like to know. Okay. Well, we're going to do another bowl, so don't go running off. But if you haven't subscribed yet, maybe I've given you enough reason now to subscribe, so you can watch some of our other turnings as we go on. There's the bowl. I'll kind of bring it up here so you can see it a little closer. I love the rich tones in the wood there, and the inside of this bowl. It's beautiful wood. Cypress is a beautiful wood, and as you can see, it turns pretty well. And you'll notice something else I'm going to show you. You see this tenon, that small tenon. You do not have to go in deep. This is about 1/8 of an inch deep. That's all that was holding this on the chuck, and it held just fine. It's on making it tenon properly, and making sure the wood is solid, and just paying attention to everything you're doing when you make that tenon. You don't have to make a deep tenon, and that allows you to go as deep as you want here. This is pretty good. I suppose I probably could have gone down another 1/8 of an inch or so. And the nice thing about this kind of tenon is that I could put this back on here and do some more turning on it later if I decide I wanted to. When you have the other type of the outward tenon, or with It's actually a basic tannin. You saw it off, you don't have that ability. You can do it, but you've got to go through a lot of shenanigans to do it. Oh, sorry you have to leave us, Paul. See you tomorrow. Okay, Paul, that's fine. Thank you. All right. If you don't get to stick around, Paul, at least come back and watch the video tomorrow, and you can see what it is I turn here next, because I think you're going to like this one. This is what we're turning now. We're going to turn this piece of oak. It looks like a moon surface, doesn't it? Yeah, this one's going to be a little bit on the tricky side. And I don't know just how far we're going to go. So I'm glad we did the Cypress one first, because this could go bad really quick. Allow me just a minute here to kind of clean up the mess from this other one, just so I don't start tripping over all this sawdust. So let me just get this cleaned up. I'm not going to get all out, of course. I'm just going to get something cleaned up here. By the way, what you're hearing is a full-fledged shop vac that I built a containment unit for. So it runs at about 60 decibels because I put a sound suppressor in the design. It's my own design, and it works really well. It drops about 30 decibels, so you can actually talk in this place with a shop vac going. In fact, my neighbor's living here running tonight. It really, really does a great job. If you're interested, there is a video about it on my channel. Just have to search for a dust collector, and find it. 3 or 4 videos I talk about vacuums versus dust collecting, and then I talk about this particular dust collector. And the nice thing about the suppressing unit that I put in here, or that I built for it, is that it doesn't reduce the vacuum power of the vacuum. The vacuum is just as good, and the way I have it designed, it only has to be cleaned up. The vacuum itself only has to be cleaned up about once a year. And when I do, there's usually only about an inch of dirt in. Because everything else is. Sorry, I dropped you guys. There we go. If you look, oops, look right over there, you'll see my vacuum system. It goes through a vortex or dust deputy on the top. It goes into a container. The rest of the air goes into the machine where the noise suppression unit is. Works out really good. Hi, Eduardo and Herman and Carlos. Wow, lots of people in here. Okay, great, guys. Well, we just finished the first bowl, and we are now going to go on to the second bowl. This is going to be more of a challenge. And I think I'm going to have to turn on the air conditioning in here because it's starting to get hot. We were expecting about 85, 90 degrees today. So put the air conditioning unit on. And that should help us a little bit. Please, if you haven't already, please hit the like button and subscribe. Really, really, really trying to get to that 5,000 subscribers, and you could be the one that puts us over the top. because we're getting that close. Okay. Where are you guys? I see all you guys saying hi, but where are you from? Tell me where you're from. Tell me what city or what country or whatever that you're listening from or watching from. I'd be very much interested. Okay, so I think I'm going to take a look about the slide first. We'll cleaning up the slide first a little bit before we work on doing the rest. Okay, everybody ready for this? Here we go. Wow, that first one kind of hurts a little bit because it comes flying back on you quite a bit. I think you can. Let me get a little bit closer here. There we go. And it's going to take a little bit of rounding, so I'm going to have to live with it. Okay, now we're starting to get into that roundish area. Okay, now I have to be able to spin it up a little bit faster. Wow, that is really rumbling. I think I'm pretty round at the moment. I think I need to work on this bottom side here, and that will take some of that wiggle out of this because it'll stop being heavy on one side. So. Okay. Drop this down just a little bit. But we're getting there. now where are we here? Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. See, we've got this light side and this heavy side here, so it's kind of have to get in there a little bit. You can see we're going to be running into here. It is very craggy, a lot of holes in for a minute. But the reward is this could be beautiful, beautiful piece of wood if we are able to get in there. Northern Texas. So we've had Dallas, Texas, and Northern Texas both in here today. So don't you guys work on Fridays in Texas? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I've been to a lot of parts of Texas. I worked with some large cattle ranches and so forth in the northern part of Texas, the Lubbock area, and other places like that. So I am familiar with the area. Whoa. Well, that stung a little bit, stuff coming off of there, but yeah, we're starting to kind of make this into a round piece of wood, slow but sure. We still don't have enough here to make a good hold, so we're going to have to keep working at this. See that? This is where I get a little bit worried. Can we find enough place to get a good tenon? Because if we can't, we can't turn this piece of wood. So we're just going to have to keep working at it as best we can. That might be as good as I can get. I don't know. I think just to show you, I'm going to find the other piece here. This is another piece we were working on yesterday. This is what we're going for. Look how beautiful this wood is when it is finished on the outside. This is what we're going to turn on the inside in a couple days on a lathe. But this is what it looks like, and it is pithy. It's got a lot of holes, but it's also heavy, which means it's got a lot of solid parts. So where there is wood, it's a nice, dense, heavy oak. And where there isn't wood, it's a nightmare. So, so yeah. So let's just kind of, just for the fun of it, let's see what happens when I try to make a tenon here. I'm going to get set a little bit. There we go. I'm not real happy with what it's sounding like, but let's look. Well, there might be enough. There may be enough. We'll have to fiddle around with this and see. Okay. So we've got the makings of a tenon. Whether it'll hold is another question altogether. But this will definitely fit. I'm probably going to fix this with some CA glue, just to make sure that it stays nice and tight. Okay. That's where we're at on that. Okay. I'm going to work on the outside here a little bit now. And then we'll stand it up and see what we can do. All we can do is try, right? Hey, Jim. Out of school, huh? Good to see you. And Mims, how you doing, Mims? This is a oak burl. It is really tough oak burl. It will look beautiful when it's done. This is another piece of it that I turned yesterday on my members only, as you can see. And it is a beautiful piece of wood, but we need to tame it. Right now, it's a pretty wild piece, and I gotta get some roundness to this edge here, and so we'll go from there. Okay. Damn, I'm getting beat up. Woo! What's coming out of the throat? What I don't do for you guys. So the least you can do is hit the like button or double tap your screen, or if you're so inclined, please subscribe. You know, to the guy who's getting beat up by his wood here. To show me a little sympathy. went with a slower speed right there is I just wanted to avoid beating the crap out of myself for a minute, but I think we're good now, so I can go back up to speed. Okay. All right, so we got round, and we got some sort of a shape. That's one. Yeah, I think that's looking good. All right, I'm just going to take another, sorry for moving around a little bit. Take my scraper here. These tries I went to scraper to really smooth things over. It's almost like a coarse sandpaper as far as what it takes off. That's nice. That's really looking nice already. I can start to see possibilities. Not many, but I can see some possibilities. So we're going to try and sand this down a little bit, and then we will, yeah, turn it on the inside and see what happens. Okay. Let me bear with me while I do some sanding. I know some of you tend to go away when I do sanding, but it's kind of essential for something like this. Okay, chatting is minimal. I get it. Jim. That's fine. Just remind people to subscribe once in a while. That'd be helpful. And maybe people can come in there and do that. So, Mike, are you still in here? Yeah. And that's true. one more. We'll stop with this thread here. Stop it at 240. And the front of this is, you don't need to go to 400 or 600 or something. It's a rough looking piece of wood. You don't need to make it shiny in places where it's some kind of place. Okay, that feels really good. All right. Okay. Let's put a little sign on this. And use one of my other tricks. Use one of my other tricks right now. I'm going to use a little bit of CA glue in here just to try and help this tenon, because I have a feeling this tenon may be a problem if we're not careful. As if I can get my glue cover off. There we go. Okay, we're going to just give a little bit right here all the way around. What this will do is just kind of strengthen the wood just a little bit. You won't even notice it when we hit the finish on. Okay, I'm going to let that work in. And that's all I'm doing. That's just a little trick that helps you with this. When you have a wood like this that could fall apart on you pretty quickly. Okay, now I'm going to take this Howard's feed and wax, and you should be able to find this in any good hardware store in your area, but if you can't and you're interested, you can find it in the description on the page here. You can just go down to the description, and it's a tagged item. I think you can get it from Walmart or something like that. They're about $10 to $12, I think, for a bottle. The bottle lasts you a good long time. It's a relatively inexpensive and a good finish on any wood. Really, any wood that would have sucked it in. Um, but you can start to see just what this is going to look like as I start to put this on here. And this is why I like turning this wood, even though it's a pain in the rear end, I'll say. It is a pain in the rear end to do. It's scary as heck to turn it sometimes. You don't know what you're getting into, but when you are able to turn it, it looks amazing, and people really, really want to buy it. It's a good seller, I will say that. This kind of wood looks like a moonscape. There's no two pieces the same. It is an art piece in that sense, and you don't have to be anything fancy with the turning. You just make a bowl and let the bowl speak for itself. People go for it. So what do you think of this? What do you think of that looking, huh? Is that looking nice? We'll let that soak in for just a minute. So if any of you have any questions, now's a good time to ask them before we turn this around and go on the inside. Is there anything I can answer for you, or any special questions you've been having, or something that we can help you work through? significant other been yelling at you lately that you spend too much time in the shop? Anybody get that? Anybody have a spouse that says you spend too much time in the shop and you ignore us? And I solved that problem. My wife took over half my shop. It wasn't the plan, but that's the way it worked out. And she does a lot of really good work. She does. And in fact, my 90-year-old father-in-law likes to watch these episodes. And so if you're watching, Dad, hi, and glad you're in here watching. So, we'll get a little vacuum on this just to get the area just a little bit. What you don't see is the amount of work that goes into afterwards. I spend about 30 to 40 minutes on your cleaning up afterwards after every show. This stuff goes everywhere, including down my shirt, down my back, over the floor. Wood turning can be a very messy thing in the shop. There's one of the chunks that tried to hit me earlier. But you come to expect some of that stuff, so it comes with the territory. Think of it as the beauty and the beast. The beauty is the bullet you end up with. The beast is all the work and the cleanup and everything else you have to do around. It's a lot like painting a house. The setup for the painting, or the setup for any one of these things ready to go, takes almost as long as the actual turning itself. A lot of planning goes into some of these pieces of wood. You never know when you're looking at a piece of wood. Can I turn this? How can I turn it? What's going to go on with it? You know, it all is part of that. So, okay. So we're going to get the screws out now. There we go. And last. Good. Glue this. Working under the. Now, here. We'll put the chuck on. And we'll commence with getting this one turned. We had about 700 people in here at one time. I hope some of them come back to see. Well, this one comes up because they were here for the Cypress Bowl. The Cypress Bowl came out beautiful. If you didn't see that, let me know and I'll bring it back. I'll show you again what it looked like. Ugh, that's not doing well. Let's see. That's got to work on how we're going to get that in there. Like so. No, there's something wobbly in there. What's the wobbly? Boy, it's still kind of wobbly. I'm not sure why. I think it's just that the wood has such gaps in it that it's just really not cooperating. We might have to work our way around this. So. We might have to live with that and fix the outside. And we can do that. We can do that. We can clean up the outside again. We're not beyond fixing that. Be very, 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 very careful with it. Okay, let's give it a try. I don't like it when it's wonky. So let's see what we can do here. Okay. Now I can use to straighten this up. I think we're looking pretty good. Oh, didn't want to do that. Didn't want to do that. No harm, no foul, no harm. Except I have to remount this, make sure it's in the same position it was in before. Yep, okay, good. That was my fault. As much as anything, that was my fault. So, let's see if we can't. Huh. Yeah, try. Try here. Boy, it just is really going to give me some trouble, isn't it? It just doesn't want to stay on there. Well, we'll give it one more try. Give it one. Oh, if I put it up like that. Let's be on the straight. right on there. Let's see. Let's see if we can get this to go. I don't know. Might have to try a different approach. But we got lots of techniques to try. Lots of different ways of doing it. We just have to try one and see which one works. Okay, we're starting to make a little progress. This is very hard wood, and then it gets really soft, and there's holes, and there's ridges. You gotta be really careful how you have to take very narrow cuts. Okay, that's the problem. It's gonna keep grabbing and popping off. So I think, and I'm not certain of this, I'm going to give it another try, but what we may have to go to is a hot glued bottom to this one and turn it that way. And that would give us enough. Well, that's not gonna work. I think using a hot glued bottom would probably be the only way to get around this one. Because it's just not cooperating. It's not enough to hold on to there. And every time this comes around, this hits one of these. If you put it too much of an angle this way, you get this, but if you don't put it enough angle, you're never going to get cut. If you put it like this, you're just going to be going around getting nothing. You turn it slightly like this, and then you get bang, 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 and knocked off. So it's one of those things where it's just going to keep doing that. Now, yes, I could take a forcer bit, and I could forcer bit my way through part of it, but that really wouldn't fix the problem. The forcer bit would still be a big problem. I can go very lightly and very slow. The problem with going very lightly and very slow is, well, first of all, it takes forever. But second of all, you're really not avoiding the issue because you're still going to end up with these pits and stuff that you're going to hit. So if we go faster, say around 700 RPM, certainly you can turn faster. But it's really hard. You get kind of momentum going on.
Okay, so we have another way of going around this. Okay. So at least we got the first little initial cut out there. What we can do is we can take and screw a faceplate onto the backside, and because you're not going to notice the extra holes because there's plenty of holes in this thing. And then as we get down near the end, take the faceplate off, put on a glue chuck, finish the rest of it off that way, take the glue chuck off, and clean it up. So I mean that might be the way we end up having to do this. But you need to have enough secure holding to hold this down while we're turning, because I think as we are turning this, we are just not. See, I just can't get any kind of a. Yeah, it's just really, really, really tight to get in there. I'm trying to go as lightly as I can. You can also read the color of the wood as you're turning. As you get here and you see the dark, you go, okay, I know I'm getting into some rougher stuff. You know, it just keeps doing that. So, you know, I don't know. I think I might have to call this one. I just cannot get a good grip on that thing. Okay. Well, the good news is we're starting to make some progress, right? It's just really, really hard progress. I'm going to raise this up just a little bit. I know, I'm just not one of these guys that gives up easily. I probably should have. I'm getting a little bit. Again, please like the like button or subscribe. That'd be really helpful. Hi, not your average woodworker. How you doing? I've seen you, Norberto, Stanislav, Shruel, Bartholomew, Rosalvo. Good to see all of you in here. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Subscribing really, really helps. We're getting so close to 5,000. Or double tap the screen. Hit the like. We're making a little progress, but you can see this has a lot of problems in it. Okay, it just does. I mean, I can try using something like this. That might help a little bit. Go with the carbide. In this particular case, carbide is nothing more than a scraper. So if you're using a carbide, you're basically scraping your way to the bottom, not using a gouge and cutting your way to the bottom. So that's kind of the real difference. A little prick right there is what really catches it on the inside. I can go up. I can't really go up more in speed. Right there is about where I can go. Yeah, I can hear something hitting that. I can hear something hitting that. And I'm not sure if I can go in this way any better. Yeah, see if it wants to. It really wants to catch. It's all this rough stuff right here it wants to catch when I come around. That's not good. Okay. So here's where we are. We got this much to go. We got that much to go. We're going very, very slowly. I don't know, guys. Uh, hey, Jorge, Ernest. And there's a lot of people in here. New people. Please, if you are new to the, please consider subscribing. Not all my trainings are this difficult, but this one certainly is not only difficult, but we are gonna. We will survive this and turn this into a bowl. But I picked this specifically because I like challenges. I like hard to turn bowls because anybody can turn a bowl that's just basic wood and nothing in it. I like the challenge of turning a bowl that makes me have to think. Because that's how you learn. That's how you improve your skills, by taking on challenging bowls. And they're not always going to work. We're getting there little by little. Starting to take a little bit of shape. I think I need to sharpen this, so just give me just a second to sharpen this one up. I haven't sharpened this since the second school. So it's just a little bit of a beating. Okay. I don't want this to be too aggressive. When you put a new edge on it, it's easy to get too aggressive. You see, it wants to dig in. Okay. Now I got a little groove going in there. Go back to this. I'm guessing this one's getting a little bit this one too. You keep going back and forth between the gouge and the carbide. What's looking interesting right here is it looks like I may have more solid. No, I'm getting more solid wood in the middle and less out here. So as we go through it, it keeps changing. The landscape keeps changing. Hi.
I'm getting ready to go to my class.
Oh, okay. I'll see you when you get back. So what happens when you get to this part is that you start to go, okay, I'm getting kind of almost near halfway, and you get excited and you start pushing the tool. When you start pushing the tool, that's when you get more snags. So you got to be real careful. You want to let the tool do the work, and not be pushing it. Jim, I don't know if you're still in here while you're editing your video, but if you all get a chance, check out the Soldier Farms woodworking. He has a lot of good videos he's been putting on. He's really trying to grow his channel. So if you're subscribed here, go over and subscribe to a Soldier Farm. And Jim, if you're in here, you can put your channel connector up there. There we go. Look at this. It's starting to actually make some movement. And it's starting to look really nice inside. There's actually some solid wood, which is really encouraging to me. Yeah, there it is. There's Soldier Farms. Please take a look at his channel. Subscribe to him. He's been a good helper to this channel. He's always trying something new and different, which I really like. And he's always trying to educate himself on something new. And it's not just wood turning. He does a lot of. He's built a couple of different musical instruments. So if I, you know, you don't just do one thing. You do a lot of things in the shop. And recently he did the dulcimer challenge, learning to build and then play a dulcimer. Just like keep checking. Make sure that I'm staying true to where I'm supposed to be here. Let me get some of this out of here. Wow, a lot of stuff. Okay. Well, please, if you're still watching it, please hit the subscribe button if you can. I think you sound like somebody you'd like to want to. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you know, you're always putting out another video. You and I are filling the airways with videos lately. I mean, I'm turning anywhere from 2 to 4 bowls a week. Over 300 videos in my first year. You know, so we do put out quite a bit of content. know it's getting late overseas and in Europe right now. It's like getting near 11 o'clock or 10:30 in the evening in England and that part, and then probably get over to Germany. It's probably a couple more hours than that. It's getting pretty late in the night, so we're probably losing some of our European friends. But we may be picking up some of our Australian friends here pretty soon, too. It's already Saturday morning out over there in New Zealand and Australia area. It's just a matter of, I think I gotta change rests here. Go to my curved rest. Get it the right height. It's not perfect. Gotta be careful here now. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I am right here. I got about a little less than half an inch to go. But it's turning really nice now, and that's got me scared. When things start going too well, I kind of get worried. You know, I get a little worried when I get here and I say, well, if I'm taking a 32nd of an inch off, I got 32 more times I got to do this. And any one of those 32 times I can catch. So, let's see. Hi, bye, Buck. Get back in place. Yeah, well, yeah, getting the lathe, you know, when you're without your lathe, you feel naked, kind of, you know? It's to be used to it. You know, I'm hearing something that I hadn't even considered, and I need to check. It's sounding really hollow right here because I'm kind of near this thing where there's a big chunk missing in the wood. So I got to be careful I don't go in too deep but we're going to have a big old hole there. So, let's see what I can do with this one. I have to try a different one. I think I can use this. Have to raise it up just a little bit. Down to full. You want to be right on a level with the center. Yeah, you can go deeper, but I can't go deep. I can't go too deep here. That's what I'm watching on. That's what I'm being careful of. Here, I think I'm going to call it there. Let's see. What do you guys think? How's it looking to you? Going back to editing now? Okay, well, thanks. I think right here, I can get a little thinner. So I'm going to put it down here. I'm going to get that a little thinner. So it kind of, I think I can go a little bit better there. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit better angle on that, I think. All this comes down to is just, you know, execution of angles at the end here, you know? Yeah. Okay. That's a little bit more of a gradual drop in there instead of having to go wide out right here because it went from here to here like really quick. So I want to make sure that I can get very thin here. Thin here. I'm trying to push the envelope, but not too far. You know? There we go. I think that'll do it. I think that's good. Okay, we managed to make a bowl out of it. Woo! Wasn't sure if I was going to stay and do it, and we did it. No, I'm happy we did. For those of you that stuck around with us, good for you. I know there's a lot of people that were in here that probably left thinking I wasn't going to get it done, but I did. And you're going to get to see, if you stick around a couple minutes, you'll get to see what this looks like with a finish on it. And I think you will be amazed. And let me get the dust collector going here. Good. trying to get that outside because I had to set the outside just a little bit. Okay. One more, and we'll be done with the sanding. This does not take a lot of sanding. Good? Good. Okay. We'll finish on this. All can kind of enjoy and see what this looks like together. So just hang in there for a couple minutes, guys. I know we're losing a few because we get to the end here, but this is kind of the payoff mode. So you kind of want to see the payoff. If you've been here at all, kind of want to see how this ends. Well, how the story ends. Okay. So I'm going to get the outside here a little bit, then we'll go to the inside where you can really see it. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how this comes out. So I'm getting the outside using this Howard's Feed and Wax here. I don't really get sponsored by them, but I do like to tell people what I'm using because they always ask. And it is available in the product section of the description if you can't find it locally, but you should be able to find it most places, at least most places in the U.S. You should be able to find it locally, no problem. I'm not so sure about in Europe or other places like that, but certainly it's relatively available all over. And I put quite a bit in here, and it's probably going to be, it's kind of sopping a little bit at the moment, but that's okay. You'll see it probably starts to disappear here in the next couple minutes too. And then we'll wipe off the excess as we go. But this is turning out into a really, really, really nice bowl. For all the work that we put into it, it actually ended up being a pretty good bowl. That's why I say you never know with these burls how much is going to be missing, what you're going to have to take out. And we did have to take off quite a bit. But it it's going to look really nice once I get it buffed up, everything. Yeah, see, it's already sucking up a lot of that oil that I put in there. It's not dripping around anymore. It's already disappearing. So I thought you were finishing. I am finishing. Thanks. Yeah, the first one I finished, but I the second piece. This was the second piece, Paul. So glad you came back in so you can see it. This is the oak burl that I promised everybody. And I'll wipe that off a little bit more. That's pretty saturated towel. I think I need to use my towel that isn't saturated quite so much. Just kind of wipe it off a little bit. Okay, let's take this out of here and show you up close what this looks like. Okay, here we are. As you can see, we've got our holes in there. And this is what I was talking about, where I couldn't go too deep on the inside because there was this on the outside missing. This did hold once we got it. It did let go a couple times, but that was me getting catches in the wood. But as far as the wood piece itself, I think that's a gorgeous piece of oak burl. And I think anybody would be happy to purchase and use that. So I want to thank everybody for being here today. It's been a really great crowd of people. And Paul, thank you very much for helping, and Jim from Soldier Farms, and Harvey, and the rest of you guys, all of you. I really do appreciate it. We're going to do this again next Friday, but we'll probably do one this weekend where we address that other oak bowl. So if you're a subscriber, you'll be notified. So I suggest you subscribe, and that way you'll know when I'm doing the next one. This was a couple of pretty hardy pieces. If you remember the first one we did today, this one here, and that's nice and smooth. This one will need to be buffed out. We'll buff this one out, and then it'll be fine. But I really like the colors in this one, and this graining, this swirling grain in here and all. It's just really, really pretty stuff. So I'll bring it up closer so you can see all that. See, so these are both nice, really nice bowls. I think we will call those done. We'll get those out in the sunshine to dry out a little bit, and we'll get this poor smock of mine into the washing machine because it is filthy dirty. You see what I mean here. I am really, really, really dirty here. But I want to thank everybody for coming in today. Thanks for all the likes, and appreciate you all being here. And thank you, Paul, very much. If any of you have any questions, you can always contact me, or these will be posted up, and they'll probably be available tomorrow if you want to share them with friends. You can share these videos. I've got a lot of them. So until tomorrow, this weekend sometime, like I said, I'm not sure if it'll be Saturday or Sunday, but if you're a subscriber, you'll know when I'm going live with that other piece. And of course, we'll be doing pieces next week again too. So thank you all for being here, and we will talk to you all very soon.